Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Change Your Perspective, Change Your Awareness, Change Your Life. I'm Dr. Michelina, leadership consultant specializing in mindset, identity, self-awareness, and communication, here to help you change your life, honestly. But more than that, change your role in your life in this series. Anyway, everything that I do on this channel is to help you get more aware, get you obviously a different perspective, help you to figure out what needs to be looked at so that you can heal it, work through it, and basically have the things that you want to have and do the things that you want to do and get the freedom that you really want. And so when we're talking about main character energy, and we're basically talking about character development, right? You as main character, one thing that I think is super, super important to discuss and to help you become aware of is the influence of the people and the products and the media that you surround yourself with. A lot of times, the people that we surround ourselves with will keep us in side ass character energy, right? The people, the things we listen to, the things that we watch, like our friends on social media. I was thinking about this today because I was teaching with a colleague of mine and we were talking about awareness and presence. And obviously, you guys know I'm always teaching on self awareness, and that's a continual process and a continual journey, and you can always learn more about yourself. But it made me, one of the things I spelled out there and I want to spell out here is, if you really want to shift your mindset and shift your identity, you need to get away from people who have been telling you you're the same thing for like 25 years. Okay. If you still hang out with the same people, still live in the same town, still watch the same shows, still do the same things, don't wonder why you're still in the same situation. People are shocked when I say that, but I'm like, why would you be? You've done nothing to change anything. So of course you still think the same stuff about yourself. Right. And so what ends up happening is, nobody's a prophet in their hometown. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like, not even Jesus was a prophet in his hometown, right? And so if it's not true of him, it's certainly not going to be true of you. So if you still stay in the same place where you were born and raised and grew up, and you still have the same friends that you've had since middle school and high school and college, and they're going to bring up all the old shit and the old versions of you that have never progressed. You are the sum total of the 5 people you hang out with the most. They will influence your beliefs. They will, and this is again not me, this is not my logic here. They will average out to be about the same financial structure. Like, you want to make sure that you're hanging around people or you're doing things that set you up for success, not set you up for being stagnant. If you want to be a main character energy, 9 times out of 10, you've got to journey away from whatever you knew, right? The main character of almost any text ever is going on a little journey away from everything they thought they knew, wanted, had. And so if you're still in the same place with the same people, now that's not to say you can't grow with people. You can. You certainly can. But you got to make sure you're growing. And not just like growing in the stages of life, but growing in mindset and mentality. Right? And so what ends up happening is that we maybe have an idea or we have something that we don't really like anymore, we're kind of malcontent about, and we tell somebody like, hey, here's my idea, or, God, I really don't like this anymore. And they'll shut it right down, right? They naysay it. They shut it right down. It's like, yeah, you can't do that. Or, yeah, like, you're upset about it, but nothing's going to really change, right? Like, for whatever reason, and I don't know what it is, well-intentioned, well-meaning people are always speaking out of like lack, fear-minded belief systems, and it's super unproductive. And so you want to really be mindful that when you're on a growth journey, when you're kind of doing your character development, your personal development, and you're trying to be the main character in your story so that you can kind of have everything that you really want for your life, you have to be very careful who you listen to. And I will say this, only listen to people who have what you want, have been where you have been, or are going where you are going. And so this is a hard thing because, like, parents, well-meaning, beautiful, loving parents have very, very different belief systems than maybe you do, right? So like, as an example, in our parents' time, my parents' time, 34, their thing was like, go to college, get a good job. That's a good joke. Now it's not even realistic anymore. The best paying job out of college is still not going to be enough to live off of, probably, right? And so, especially when you have to pay back all those loans, usually, if you've taken them out. So the mentalities are different. So like, for me, I'm always kind of like, thank you, I appreciate it, but I have no interest in living that life that you're living. Another example, when people are like, oh, Michelina, you should have kids. I have no interest in that. So I'm not going to listen to any advice on what I should or shouldn't do about my life. Like, no, I shouldn't have kids. Why would I do that? I don't want that. Why would you tell somebody who doesn't want kids that they should have them? That's weird to me. No, thank you. Because I'm a single, young, attractive female? Like, no, that's not a prerequisite for having children. Sorry, not sorry. So the people with whom you surround yourself, the influence that you surround yourself, like, that is important. And too often we are on autopilot, not aware of what we are intaking from the people, from our social media, from our news platforms, from our workplace. We're not aware of what we are inputting. And what we input becomes a lot of what we output. So if you're not intentional about what goes in, you're going to be living unconsciously. Well, what does that mean? Unconscious living is side character living. Main character living is intentional, in your power, in your control of yourself living. Right? So all that to say, here are some actionable steps. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. Okay? Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. If you look at your Instagram, okay, and it's all like your friends from high school and college, you're probably comparing yourself to them pretty regularly. You're probably like checking out. You're probably more worried about them than you are about yourself, right? If you look at the things that you follow on social media and it's all like video games or women or men or, you know, any kind of thing like that, it's a waste of your social media. It's a waste of your social media. Okay. Follow accounts that are productive for your mental, emotional, spiritual health and growth. It's not hard. Like, if you want to grow, if you don't want to grow, then don't worry about it. Like, I don't know what you're doing here. You know, you don't want to grow, keep on doing what you're doing. That's fine. This is fine. But if you do want to grow and you do want to change and you want your life to shift, then you need to shift what you're doing with your life. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Which means shift who you follow, shift who you listen to, shift the influence. Not blatantly or disrespectfully, but just like put some distance. I'll tell you why, right? The only resources that we have in this life, time, energy, attention, money, information, and space. Okay. We only have so many resources at our disposal. When you are getting influenced, you are giving up time, energy, attention, space, and information, and maybe money, depending. You're giving up all these resources that are valuable that you don't get back. You don't get your time back. You don't get your energy back. You're not getting your attention back on whatever you opened up a door to and opened up a connection to in that moment. So check your sphere of influence. If you are not listening to anybody who is productive mentally, emotionally, which I know isn't true because obviously you're listening to me, you're here, right? So obviously you care to some degree because you're here watching this. Free teaching, right? So you care. I hope you've got a lot more me's lined up in your feeds, okay? I hope you get good awareness about who is here to help you and who is here to harm you. And the people who are harmful, not necessarily maliciously so, but like well-intentioned, those are the worst. That's the worst one. Honey, like, really, should you eat that? That's like well-intentioned harm is what we call that. They mean well, but it's still harmful, still hurtful, still not necessary. Yes, I do mean to eat that. Thank you. I'm a grown-ass person. I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. Thank you. Appreciate that. Right? Main character energy versus side character energy. You're not letting people who don't know about your path tell you what to do on your path. Now, the only way you can do that is if you know your path and purpose so well, you can clearly see that these people are not aligned and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. The reason why we get into side character energy is because we don't know our own plans and we want everybody else to tell us about ourselves and tell us about our plans. When you want to get into main character energy, you don't want that kind of superfluous connection around you. You're like, I know you mean well, but I can't take this counsel. Thank you, but no thank you. Right? It's like if you're a parent, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to listen to somebody who's not a parent. Why? They haven't been where you've been. They haven't done what you've done. They haven't been through what you've been through. And that makes sense. Right? It gets very easy. Like if I'm getting criticized by somebody about my content creation and they've never created content, I'm like, listen, I don't care. You don't know what it is. Now, if somebody who is a creator is like, hey, you're not doing this, and this well, you might want to consider it. Oh, you're right. You've got it down. I'm going to listen to you. And they're going to approach it differently because they know how hard it is. Whereas like Joe Schmo over here who's never done anything is going to be like, oh man, you suck at this. And it's like, I don't care what you think, but I love you and hope the best for you. Right. So it gets really easy to consider your influence, the people who are trying to influence you, not the people you are trying to influence. The people who are trying to influence you with input, check the input. It gets really easy when you get very self-assured and self-aware. You're like, oh, that's cute. Thanks anyway. Right? And so you're sorry. Sometimes I crack myself up. Okay, sorry. People do mean well. That doesn't mean that you need to take their counsel under advisement. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to serve you on any high levels. I say this a lot. The empty cans make the loudest noises. And so check the people in your sphere of influence who's inputting what to you. If they're speaking death into you, no. Like, I'm not keeping people around me that speak death into me. And guess what? Nobody does it in my reality anymore because I'm like, no, I'm not going to tolerate that. I appreciate it. I know you mean well, but the answer is no. People don't yell in my reality anymore. Do you know why? I don't tolerate it. Not here for it. Try again. Not going to speak to you like that. It gets very easy. So to make it very actionable and palatable, go through who you're following. Do a cleanse. Do an addition. If you don't want to cut anybody off, cut some people in. Mindset, etc. Whatever you're interested in. You're like, I don't know what I'm interested in. Right. You lack self-awareness. You're not the main character. Okay. If you don't know, then you need to hire somebody because you can't figure it out on your own. So hire somebody to help you out. Doesn't need to be me. It needs to be something. You have to know what you want, why you want it, who you want to be. Right. So cleanse your list, add good stuff, take out crappy stuff, cleanse your circle, cleanse your home, cleanse your life of crappy influence. So it's a hugely important step to becoming the main character of your story. Okay. So with all that being said, I hope this is helpful. I'm really hoping that you're enjoying this series. I'm enjoying bringing it to you. Maybe have another one or two, but probably going to shift out soon. Hoping that this is always helpful to help you change your perspective, change your awareness, change your life. If you like what you're seeing here, grow the channel, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you here on the next video.